Gus Boha is known for his in-depth knowledge of the Alcuin and its interpretation and his simple lecture style, which touches the hearts of the listeners.
I admire Rasulullah, for example. You can practice this. For example, people who spend the night clubbing, dancing with beautiful women clubbing. Maybe he has pleasure, it's a pleasure, especially for men. Then, all humans have lust if it is strictly forbidden. It is difficult because humans also want entertainment. But what did the Prophet say? The Prophet said the recipe is easy, son, like worship, like things that are permitted by Allah. Husband and wife are allowed to have sex, so that he is entertained by something halal. People who have a soft heart, fanning, accompanying their children to sleep, that is incredibly happy, even without clubbing. And also, pious clerics to study the Quran with their students. Studying the Al-Quran for 2 to 3 hours is incredibly enjoyable, also beats the pleasure of sinners. So are people like David, drinking coffee at home and gossiping. His style of analyzing the presidential election, that too is very enjoyable. Audience laugh, even though they don't get anything. Even then they argue with each other like observers who get paid. So what does it mean? People don't have to commit sins to be happy. That's why to fight the pleasure of sin, Allah gives a recipe for pleasure: be happy with obedience. That's why Allah said, say Muhammad, with the grace of Allah and His mercy, let them rejoice in that. Yunus 58. Remember that in this world you get Allah's grace, then the condition is to be happy. That's why my father, if there is a kid who likes to get angry, he is very annoyed. That father doesn't like getting angry, because earlier, the world is a place of sin. Until people commit sins to seek pleasure. Now, why want to obey made difficult, that if you don't like it, then what? If you are happy in obedience, that is the only way to fight pleasure and immorality. That's why if you become a teacher, cleric, don't always be angry. Be happy. Chanting is joyful. It's not immoral, just be happy. So, our desires are fulfilled, because we have succeeded in being happy. How could the Prophet not be strong? The Prophet faced prominent figures. He faced evil infidels who could be kidnapped or killed at any time. That's when the Prophet panicked, for example, at 12:30 or before the call to prayer, especially before dawn. That's the Prophet pacing up and down the street. Asai asked, O Rasulullah, why are you pacing around? Bilal, why don't you come here and there? It used to be the procedure. The Prophet was inside if Bilal wanted to call to prayer. The door of the Prophet's house was knocked before Bilal wished to call to worship, pray. O Messenger of Allah, when Bilal came knocking on the door, the Prophet said, come on, call to prayer, Bilal, so that I can pray quickly. Relax me by praying, give me a break by praying. Give me a break by praying, give me a break by praying. So, all the fears and worries of the Prophet disappear after praying. That's because earlier, humans were surrounded by worldly problems. But whatever the problems in the world are, our problems are in facing creatures. For example, I fear Zaid, but I still face creatures. I'm afraid of not having money, so I face creatures. All of this, right, is a weak thing. It will fall before us if we are afraid of Allah SWT, because after we pray, Allah SWT is greater than anything. So that finally all problems related to creatures disappear. And we prostrate, comfortable before Allah SWT. And we prostrate ourselves, comfortable before Allah SWT. That's why prayer is a coolant for his heart. Muhammad saw. When I have prayed, I feel comfortable and relieved. That's why it is said that the believer's rest is in prayer.